Hello there and a very good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio, bringing you visual radio this evening on Monday, the 26th of February 2024. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jayamal Ratnayaka.
And I am Hashni Patirana. Let's take a look at your headlines first.
Newsfirst headline.
Deshabandu Tennakoon was appointed 36th Inspector General of Police. We cannot stop all boats. Sri Lanka struggles with recurring issue of Indian encroachment in Sea of Sri Lanka, says Foreign Minister Ali Sabri. Existing electricity bills should be reduced by at least 20%, says Sectoral Oversight Committee on alleviating the impact of the economic crisis. United Petroleum Australia enters into Sri Lankan retail petroleum market. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro claims as victim of political persecution leaving office. Now in your sports, Hardik Pandya returns to competitive cricket with D.Y. Patel T20 Cup.
Taking a look at those stories in detail. Deshabandu Tennakoon has been appointed as the 36th Inspector General of Police in Sri Lanka. Now, Deshabandu Tennakoon served as the Acting Inspector General of Police since the 29th of November 2023. Deshabandu Tennakoon joined the police service in 1998 as an Assistant Superintendent of Police.
Moving on, the issue of Indian fishermen entering Sri Lankan waters is a long-standing and sensitive one, with significant economic, environmental and political dimensions. The Sri Lankan Navy has been actively addressing this issue, issuing weekly statements about the capture of fishermen and their boats and taking legal action against them. Despite these efforts, the problem persists, with Sri Lanka's resources being exploited through the use of bottom trawling mechanisms. Here are the comments made by Foreign Minister Ali Sabri.
We continue to talk to the Indian side on a case-by-case basis. This is an ongoing problem for a long period of time. There are practical limitations on this, what we can do also, and Navy cannot practically stop all the ships coming in, but we continue to exert pressure on them and also continue to exercise caution in kind of detecting them as well as in fact detaining them. So you would have seen that yesterday in Kachati, the Tamil fishermen did not take part from Tamil Nadu on the basis that Sri Lanka is harassing them. So we can't escalate this into a full-blown conflict with two countries, but in a pragmatic manner we are trying to resolve it. But we also have told them bottom trawling is very dangerous and that will kind of destroy the fishing resources not only for the Sri Lankans but for the entire world. But it is not only for India. Even last week when I met the Interior Minister of Seychelles, they were complaining that the Sri Lankan fishermen are going and poaching in their waters. So this is an ongoing matter. So it's an international concern. IUU illegal and unregulated fishing or overfishing. We need to look at it bilaterally and multilaterally.
That was Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ali Sabri, speaking about the recurring issue of Indian encroachment in the Sea of Sri Lanka. Taking a look at more local news, the Sectoral Oversight Committee on alleviating the impact of the economic crisis has recommended to the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka that the existing electricity bill should be reduced by at least 20%. This is after the inquiry of several institutions, including the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industries, Central Bank officials and others were summoned. The Ceylon Electricity Board has submitted its proposal to the Public Utilities Commission to reduce the electricity tariff. Before presenting it, Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara announced in Parliament that in this year's electricity tariff revision, the electricity tariff, which was increased last October, will be reduced by the same amount for several consumer groups.
And in more local news, United Petroleum Australia Proprietary Limited has entered a contract with the Ministry of Power and Energy to supply petroleum products in the Sri Lankan market. Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, the Secretary of the Ministry of Power and Energy, representing the Government of Sri Lanka, and Eddie Hirsch, the owner of United Petroleum Australia, signed the contract. United is planning to upgrade and uplift the standards of retail petroleum sector in Sri Lanka with quality of products and services. The company is assigned 150 existing fuel stations around the country and has the right of building 50 new fuel stations under the ownership of United.
International news.
In our international news, former president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, led a large rally of his supporters in Sao Paulo as he denied allegations that he took part in a coup plot in an attempt to stay in power. Bolsonaro faces a Brazilian federal police investigation into an alleged attempted coup plot to keep him in power after he lost the 2022 presidential election. Several former ministers who served in Bolsonaro's government are also being investigated, and some of his aides have also been arrested.
Sports news.
And taking a look at your sports news, it's cricket. Hardik Pandya has made a return to competitive cricket for the first time since an ankle injury ruled him out midway through the 2023 ODI World Cup. Now playing for Reliance One in the DY Patil T20 Cup in Navi Mumbai, Pandya opened the bowling and picked up 2 for 22 from his 3 overs on Monday afternoon. He then batted at number 10 and saw off a tense chase along with Piyush Chawla. And Pandya was unbeaten on 3 of 4 balls as Reliance One beat Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited by 2 wickets.
And with that, we conclude this evening's edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jaimal Ratnayaka.
And for the Newsfirst team, I'm Hashni Patirana.
Take care and have yourselves a great night.